Or I'm going to, do X. I'll do reset. I think I should always start with that, just to encourage you to do the same thing. Define my variable, X equals var, and then let's see, X, right? Yeah. I'll define my function, f, and I'm assigning f of x. The function I'm looking at here is problem number 2, by the way, and I see e to the x, and I see it's being divided by x plus 2. All right, that's what f of x is. I'm actually just going to integrate this one and see what happens. And there's a point to it. And I'm going to say f of x, and I'm going to say x, and I'm going to say that x goes from 1 to 7. If you notice, it doesn't do much, does it? All right. And certainly, someone says, I don't understand what the output is. And yeah, that's funny, isn't it? I can't do that, can I? Well, let's do this computation then. All right. Let's go back over here. And notice they're writing down something pretty spiffy over here. And I want to do the same thing, by the way. And you should get in the habit of trying to compact what you're writing down. And I'll write it down. All right. So what I want to do, it's 3 divided by 4. And again, you might be surprised by your inability to do this. All right, I'm just going to type it in, sum. And the sum is of the function f, and the function is going to be evaluated 11 divided by 8, plus, I'm going to put down 3. Let's take a look at that. 3 star I divided by 4. And then I'm going to tell it that we're counting on the I, and the I starting at 0 and it's stopping at 7. And you can, again, be shocked by output. All right, let's put this down, see what happens. If I made an error, it'll tell me I made an error. And I made an error. All right, so I look at it, I'm going to pull it up, and I see something over here. And let's see what I got over here, sum. And I got the f of 11a's plus 3 star I. You know what? I forgot to define I. Let's do that now. And let's write that down. I is a variable. And let's type that command in again, okay? I'm using the up arrow to get it back. And I see it now. Let's do that. And it gives me, I would say like it just computes it but doesn't do any computation, just writes it down. So what I want to do is I want to use that output from the prior input and approximate it, see what happens over here. And I'm using the .n notation. It ends an abbreviation for numerically approximate it. And let's say 136.62 blah, blah, blah. And a better approximation they're giving me, but it's certainly in agreement with it. There's no doubt about that. Now let me do the other one. A little more difficult, isn't it? Well, looking at it, let me scroll it up a little bit. And I'm going to do this one now. What I got? Well, I got 3 divided by 8. Again, we're using Sage pretty much as a calculator at this point. Star, f of 1. And you're only going to do this time, I'm actually going to place a decimal point in this one to force it to compute it. And that's going to be plus f of 7. And plus 2 star the sum. And the sum is going to be of f. I'm going to put 1.0 in. I'm actually forcing it to do something. 1 plus 0 plus 3.0. You know what? Instead of putting 3.0, I'm going to say 3/4 is 0.75. And then times I. I'm forcing it to do a computation. And I'm going to say I starts at, let's see, 1 and goes off to 7. And I'm going to close out the sum. And then close out that product of 3/8 times that. All right, let's see what happens. Again, I'm hoping that it gives me the same number, and it does. 140. When I say the same number within the approximation, it gives me the same thing. 144.127. Again, what are we learning? How to use a computer algebra system to do arithmetic, and we're doing some things like summations to do that. It helps me out in writing it. You can imagine if these numbers are much larger, how difficult it would be to type that all in. But anyway, this is pretty good. Thank you for paying attention.